Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome and thank you for coming to this critical and important update about the construction of the Fern Hollow Bridge. We are very grateful for our partners with PennDOT and at the state for working with us on this state of emergency as we restore this vital connection that requires us to reroute roughly 18,000 vehicles each and every day. So in a moment, I'm going to introduce the order. We're going to go with PennDOT, then Senator Costa, Councilman Ricky Burgess, and then we'll finish with Mayor Gainey. And then afterwards, we'll take some questions, and hopefully we may get to see some of the beams being delivered. We're still looking to see what that looks like. So once again, thank you for coming. And at this point in time, I'm going to hand it over to Cheryl from PennDOT.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. I didn't think a few months ago that we would be here this soon, so I'm really super excited that we are. I think we all know I'm not going to talk about what happened on January 28th. I'm going to talk about all the great things that have happened since then. We've formed an excellent partnership with the City of Pittsburgh administration, their Department of Mobility and Infrastructure, and Federal Highway Administration, and we've really moved this project along quickly. Going to throw some facts out at you here, so bear with me. I'm an engineer. We do facts. So we have this roadway here carried about 21,000 vehicles a day, which is a big key link from the city folks to the parkway and points to the east here. So when this collapse happened, we were asked by the mayor and offered to the mayor, what can we do to help? And we said, we can help you build this bridge as quick as we can here. And that's what we're doing. So we use what's called emergency procurement procedures. On that day, actually on January 28th, we decided what contractor we thought would be great and what consultant we thought would be great to be able to collaborate with us and work through this very, very difficult project. Is it difficult in the sense of building a structure? No, it's pretty much a typical structure, but building a structure in the time frame that we allotted is extremely aggressive, and we chose, like I said, HDR consulting firm and Swank Construction Company to do the work. They have a variety of subs working with them, and everybody's working extremely well together. So we started the design about a week after the collapse, which is a record setting. We helped the NTSB with the demolition and removing all the parts that they needed, which took a few weeks, and then we continued on with the design and the demo. So that was over the span of the winter there. That's kind of what we did. Around April, you started to see some equipment go into the ground. We started digging. You saw there's 4 columns here. They're on about 30 to 40 foot caissons, and the columns I believe are about 85 foot. Or no, from the bottom of the beam to the ground it's going to be about 85 foot. So it's a pretty high structure. That took a little bit of time to build those columns and build those abutments. The other issue, we're waiting on beams. What we chose here, because this is on such a tight time frame, the beams that we could get the quickest was called a bulb T beam, a bulb T pre-stressed beam. Say that 3 times fast. Anyhow, they thought they could get them here the quickest. And they promised us the end of July, and here we are at the end of July with the first beams being delivered. So they definitely held to their word. The company is Penn Stress, is where the beams are coming from, and there's going to be about 21 beams. There'll be 7 beams. There's 3 spans, 7 beams each span. Beams are around a little bit over 150 feet, which is about the biggest beams that this company, that a pre-stressed beam can actually come in. That was why the difficulty and the hoopla of getting them here. They're about 8 foot high, which is pretty deep for a pre-stressed beam, and about 33 inches wide. So that's what you're going to see here behind us very shortly. The new deck for the bridge is about 64 feet, which is right what the old deck was, what we call the out-to-out length. It's going to have 4 10-foot shoulders, 4 10-foot lanes, 10-foot travel lanes. There's going to be a 5-foot raised sidewalk on the one side, a little 2-foot buffer, and on the other side a little 2-foot buffer and a 10-foot 5-inch shared use path. Trying to get as most as we can out of the width that we have. You know, we're over a park. this very sensitive area. We're next to a very nice community, so we had to be very careful of the space, and we had some limitations on that. What you're going to see here is behind us we have two very large cranes. You actually use the one crane to build the other crane. The one crane's about a 386-ton crane. That was used to build this big red one, which is a 770-ton crane. The beams weigh about 108 tons. They're extremely, extremely heavy. So a lot of careful thought. Our contractor, who is excellent, is using the utmost safety to swing these beams into place. What you're going to see today is the beams are going to go, they're going to set them in the first span, which is a span on the other side, and then tomorrow they'll move them to the second span. The middle span is what gets filled in first. That's, from what Bob tells me and the contractor tells me, that's the way we're going to work here. So the beams are spaced about 9 foot 5 inches center to center, with an overhang of about 3 foot 9 inches on the side. Those are kind of the statistics. We're moving, like I said, we're moving forward. This is extremely, extremely fast. On a normal bridge project, we probably would have been about year 3 by the time we reached this point. So that's if everything went very well. The DEP, the environmental agencies, have been excellent. We've had a lot of great public participation, and everything has gone very, very well. So we're looking, hoping, crossing our fingers. This is the first time we said this publicly. Don't hold me to this, because we're all dealing with the same supply chain issues that everybody else is. But we're looking to hopefully have this bridge open by the end of the year. That is barring everything goes okay. We're having a little bit of difficulty procuring the bridge barrier, and obviously we're not opening a 90-foot high bridge without barrier. So we have to make sure that comes in time. We're probably going to have to put some temporary lighting in when it opens, because the light poles procurement is extremely long, and we probably won't have them this year. Couple other features, and the mayor can elaborate on this, but we worked with the senator and the mayor's office and the community, and we are going to put a mid-block crossing on the other side. It will be lighted, because when you come around the bend on Forbes, it's a little bit dangerous for pedestrians to walk there without lighted crosswalks. Only problem with that is, same thing, it takes about 10 months, 12 months to get the signal. So don't fear when the bridge goes up and that's not in, that it's not going to happen. A lot of things will be happening next year. Same with a lot of the work down below on the path. We haven't talked about if the path's going to open for the winter or not. We're still probably talking about a lot of those things, but there's going to be a lot of restoration done, making the path underneath, the area underneath, look a lot nicer, and that's going to be mostly done next year, because we don't want anything going on while they're working on top of the bridge. So I think I got most of the statistics. Jason, did I miss anything? All right. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Maria here for the next folks. But that's kind of the scoop on what's happening with the bridge. We at PennDOT, we're super excited that it's moving this fast, and everything is gone really according to plan. Thanks.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jay Costa, and I serve as the state senator for this community for here in the Regent Square, Point Breeze area in Squirrel Hill. I'll just be very brief. I want to say thank you. Thank you to a lot of folks, certainly to Cheryl and the PennDOT team and the great work that they've been doing, but more importantly, the nature of the collaboration with the city of Pittsburgh and Mayor Gainey recognizing, and your team recognizing that the PennDOT folks have been through this up on Route 30 before and know how to do this in an expeditious way with the right folks to be able to do the right thing. But I want to go beyond that, because it seems to me to be what I have learned through this process, meeting with a number of folks in the community, that this really is a community-driven process that allows for opportunity from folks, but whether it be upstream Pittsburgh, whether it be the folks from the Briarcliff community here, or wherever else they might be, being able to be engaged, that results in what I think is going to be a very good project at the end of the day, and the willingness of PennDOT and the federal folks to allow it to be part of the scope of this project. As you do know, the resources are coming from the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania in large part to support this project. And I really want to give a shout out to my colleagues in the General Assembly, because we'd have to go twice now, we've had to do extensions of the emergency declaration in order to allow those proceeds to be used, and recognizing also that they know that those proceeds, which could be used anywhere in this Commonwealth, collectively we've chosen to be able to use them here right now for this project. So I think I owe a debt of gratitude to my colleagues who recognize the significant nature of this particular roadway, this particular bridge, and what it means to the communities on both sides of the bridge, how important it is to get it up and running as soon as we can. My hope is, and my colleagues have said to me, we hope you come in under budget so some of those extra dollars can be pushed back into this Commonwealth and other projects as well. And I think showed a long way towards that. But again, my hat's off to all the folks involved. They're able to listen to community input and being able to work together in a really strong, a strong collaborative way with everyone involved. So thanks everyone for the opportunity for you all doing that. It's now my pleasure to introduce Councilman Ricky Burgess, Reverend Ricky Burgess, who will then speak as now. You're next, right? Thanks.
I represent half of the district of the bridge. The bridge splits and is the dividing point between my council district and the council district that was formerly held by Councilman O'Connor. But as I look in this moment, I can't help but look at it through the eyes of faith. I believe there are moments where God speaks. There are moments where God speaks, and sometimes God smiles. We had an incident that we had a bridge collapse, and miraculously, God smiled that there were no fatalities on the bridge. I have two personal connections to that moment. One is my sister-in-law. My brother has been married over 45 years to his wife, and she is a nurse in Squirrel Hill and lives in Wilkinsburg and crosses the bridge at the exact same time the bridge collapsed every day except her off days. And it just so happened that this was her off day. His wife was not on the bridge, but his first girlfriend from grade school, Velva, was on the bridge and was one of the people injured. It was interesting that his wife was not on the bridge, but his first love was on there, and neither were injured. God speaks and God smiles. And it just so happened that Joe Biden was in the area, and so we have all these partners who have stepped in this God space, federal, state, the Senate, the governor, and all under the leadership of our Mayor Ed Gainey, to do something. Not only he is smiling that this is a miracle, to have this bridge up this fast is nothing short of miraculous. And so I am grateful. It has been a community-driven process. The community has weighed in. All of us have done our part, and we are grateful for the leadership of our mayor to bring us so far. But at the same time, we know that he has been able to do this because there was a power greater than him working with him. We cannot forget, even as the bridge gets rebuilt, this was a moment where God spoke, and I believe God smiled.
Oops. Good afternoon. How's everybody doing? First and foremost, I want to extend my thanks and gratitude to Cheryl and her entire PennDOT team. Cheryl, I want to say thank you, not just for this project, but for whenever I called you, regardless of the position or the title, you were always there. And I think that speaks volumes of your professionalism. So before I go any further, I want to say thank you. Their partnership is invaluable. I also want to thank Governor Wolf for helping us out with our state of emergency. We would not have this bridge being built safely and quickly without the governor's support. And with that, I also want to thank the president, because without his swift action to turn and be able to see for himself, a lot of this dialogue wouldn't have happened. Today brings us one day closer to restoring the vital piece of our city, our infrastructure. Every day that we go without this bridge in place is a day that we reroute 18,000 vehicles. Restoring this bridge means restoring connections that will provide better economic opportunities for our children, improve public safety response time, and create safer routes for bikes and pedestrians in our city. Let me repeat, I never want to wake up again to the collapse of a bridge. I never want to wake up again. We take the safety and security of our infrastructure in this city extremely serious. And in doing so, I am proud to announce that my team was able to pull off the Bridge Asset Management Program. And the City Council, thanks to Ricky Burgess, Teresa Cal Smith, and the rest of City Council, passed legislation funding this critical piece of work to help us make our bridges safe. Thank you. I also want to take a moment to thank our minority leader in the Senate, Jay Costa, and all the senators in the House of Rep that fought diligently to make sure that our state of emergency was held up and that everybody listened to it. We have contracted with WP USA, whose expertise with infrastructure and transportation will help guide us in this work as they assess one of our city's own bridges. They will assess our city-owned bridges. Their primary responsibility: review current bridge conditions to ensure public safety, and provide a report to me by October of 2022 on the current conditions and safety of all of our city-owned bridges. Develop a list of immediate, near-term bridge repairs, including a review of DOMI's current bridge repair plan and repair projects, and make recommendations for additional required near-term bridge repairs. And with that, I want to also thank our Chief Operating Officer, Lisa Frank, and our Director of DOMI, Kim Lucas, for your diligent work on ensuring that this bridge is being reconstructed. They will have for us to develop a comprehensive asset management plan for the city bridges, including a comprehensive plan for each individual bridge that includes a strategy of investment that will prolong the service of the bridge's life. Develop recommendations for successful implementation of the asset plan, including the creation of a new bridge management division that can implement the recommended maintenance and repair. The cooperation and partnership seen to restore this critical piece of our city is exactly the type of partnership we've always discussed, us doing it together. Our safety as a city and a region depends on all of us working together to create a thriving and safe city for each and every one of us. I want to thank everybody. And as Cheryl said, the plan is to have this up by the end of the year, but we know that there's challenges that we still have to get through for that to happen. But I want to thank everybody because we are still moving faster than we expected. And we want to make sure that this is the safest and one of the best bridges in the city. And we look forward to the report so that we can continue to make our city safe. Thank you.